when it comes to me going to a cosplay convention of any kind, whether it relates to anime, comic books, video games, trading card expos, horror conventions, or what have you, one type of person I don't really like are street preachers. One would probably wondering where the hell I'm going with this. For those who don't recall, there was a little incident back in the spring of 2016. Triad Anime Convention was in Salem, to be exact. For those who don't remember, there was a video, which involved both Vic Mignogna and Erica Harlocker trying to convince a couple in their late 50s, early 60s who believe that God deserves to bring wrath and judgment upon certain people instead of teaching the love of God to people when they show up at these conventions. Basically, the picketer kind of the kind of street preacher that you just want them to shut up or at least choose to ignore them. And why is that? Well, here's the thing with street preachers. If a street preacher approaches me and comes at me with an open palm, wants to coax me to come to a church or accept Christ in their lives, I'm willing to do it, but I've already accepted Christ in my life, and I'll tell them, I appreciate your offer and I understand where you're coming from, but I've already done everything possible, so I don't want to do it. But still, those kinds of people there are those kinds of street preachers who will come at approach, but want to be firm, be kind to people, and be firm but fair. If those are the kind of street preachers I deal with, people are fine. I mean, I'm willing to shake them off, or at least say, "Hey, I've already accepted Christ in my life, and I hope you accept that this fact that I don't want to visit your church because of certain things, certain issues." But then you have this particular couple, infamous in the Carolinas, who go out of their way to do the whole God is going to create calamity and judgment. You can be saved, or you don't deserve repentance, that sort of stuff. To me, these kinds of street preachers are very condescensious, hypocritical, self-indulgent. And for those wondering, they popped up at this year's Collecticon Charlotte show event. To me, these people are Jonahs, individuals who are fanatical but go to ultra extremist lengths to preach judgment as opposed to leniency. Would rather preach of God's judgment as opposed to his leniency and compassion. And believe me, if Bryce Papenbrook confronted them yesterday, granted, in fairness to Bryce, he's a Jew, not a Christian, but the point still applies that he would have been willing to chew this couple up and spit them out metaphorically. That being said, and it's one of the reasons why I'm not a big fan of street preachers, because they come off as stiff-necked, arrogant, self-serving individuals. They'd rather be condescensious and preach for judgment as opposed to teach and preach of God's leniency. And that's something that bugs me. And don't want to admit the fact that they're afraid that God will punish them for their own mindsets. At least that's how I see it. I'm pretty sure other Christian VAs, individuals like John Young Bosch, would also go after me, try to pick a fight with street preachers like that. And trust me, I wouldn't mind Johnny doing it. Regardless, that's all I can say. I mean, I had a decent time at this year's Collecticon event, but there were spots that had a bit of a rough patch. Comment, like, and subscribe. This is Mets 2128 signing out. Goodbye. Good fucking night.